Tomorrow's going to be a big day out there for the stock market, and not only just because of the FOMC. You can see right here the S&P 500 almost completing the ABC pattern on the way down. Now we come over and look at how the indices fared across the board. The Dow was down 204 points. NASDAQ was down 80 points. S&P 500 down 18 points, with the Russell 2000 being down 1.43. We come over and look at advancing issues versus declining. We had 58.6% of issues declining on the day. Then we come over and look at the sectors across the board. Real estate, energy, and utilities were by far outpacing everything else. And if we look at crude oil today, crude oil spiking on the way back up. We can see right here, oil prices spike after Trump's shorting deadline for Putin will soon reveal which one of them has miscalculated. And that could be a problem, because if crude oil continues to rally up, guess what that's going to do to the CPI report? That's going to cause that's going to cause inflation to rise. Inflation rising could pose a problem out here for the Fed. We come over and look at this article right here. Will Powell and the Fed cut rates in response to Trump's pressure? We keep hearing Trump all the time. Powell's too late, Powell, the Fed's late, yada, yada, yada. Well, let me know in the comment section down below. Do you guys think Powell is going to give us a shock out here tomorrow? Because if we come over real quick and we look at what is anticipated for tomorrow, they're expecting the rates to stay the same, not only by Forex Factory looking out here, but if we look at the Fed watch tool, we can see there's a 97.9% chance the Fed is not going to be cutting rates until September. However, something that is likely going to happen tomorrow is not going to be a surprise with the Fed funds rate, but when Jay Powell takes the podium right here at 2:30 during the press conference, I think we're going to learn a lot. I think Jay Powell is going to really lean on the fact that indeed the Fed will be cutting rates probably at the next meeting in September. We can see right there, the market is pricing in a 62.8% chance the Fed will be cutting rates. Now, if Jay comes out quite dovish out here tomorrow, is that actually going to be bullish for stocks, or are we going to see stocks continue to crater down here just a bit? We come over and look at the volatility index today. The VIX having a nice little pop on the way up 6.18%. Well, if we come over and look at the SPY real quick today, SPY gapping up, coming down with a bearish engulfing candle. And this has been one heck of a rally ever since April on the way up. At some point, we will get a retracement to a 38% retracement. But if we can stay below this high volume area of the profile up here, then it really opens the door to a retest of 624.17, then maybe the 38% retracement, then maybe even deeper along those Fibonacci ratios. Coming over and look at the 30-minute chart real quick, you can see the last candle of the day forming a hammerish type of candle. And I'm going to look at the profile as a B as in boy shaped profile. Now tomorrow, if we get above value area high, watch for the upper third of the range to come back and get tested at about 637.80. MACD indicator is below the zero line. It's not quite flattening out yet, but that could start to turn as early as tomorrow. Now, we come over and look at the futures markets real quick. We start off on the 4-hour chart, and this is something we're talking about on the live stream. Now, if you guys don't want to miss the next time I go live, make sure you subscribe. You have the bell notifications turned on for all. But as we look at the S&P 500, we can see we have an A to B equals C to D pattern. This right here is the A to B leg, the impulse leg. The B to C leg is a corrective leg, and then we project right down here for D. Now, one thing you want to do to measure this out is grab the Fibonacci extension tool. We're going to start at the top, pull it right down to the bottom, and then pull it right back up. We can see the price completion is right here, right around 63.93. And if we look at the low from today, the low was 63.96.25. So we did not quite go ahead and take out that price projection to the downside. Also, tomorrow, if we start breaking below value area low, watch out. We're probably going to go ahead, not only take out that ABC pattern that we just spoke about on the 4-hour chart, but we're probably going to come down towards this untested point of control at about 63.89.50. Now, I want to make you guys aware of some amazing prop firm deals out there. Apex Trader Funding, 90% off all their evaluation accounts. My Funded Futures, 3 new plans, the Core, the Scale, and the Pro accounts. Tradeify, 35% off all account sizes. This includes the Lightning funded accounts, formerly known as the Straight Send the funded accounts. Last but not least, Take Profit Trader, best payout policy in the prop firm space. Make sure to use promo code EPITOME with Take Profit Trader. All links in the description box down below. Now, tomorrow's really going to be a busy day out there. 8:15, we have the ADP non-farm employment change. Then we're going to get advanced GDP numbers at 8:30. If we look at this article right here, the GDP is ready to pop, but not because the US economy is popping. So if it's not because the economy is doing so great, then why oh why would the GDP numbers get better? Well, if we scroll right down here and look at this article, we can see the big pop is expected because the US trade deficit fell sharply in the second quarter. A lower trade gap helps the GDP number. So again, we want to take this at face value. So we want to think about this once we see the number come out tomorrow. And let's keep in mind, it's not just the economic data that we have tomorrow, but if we look, we are in the midst of earnings season. Today after the bell, we have Visa, we have Starbucks, and then tomorrow we're going to get Meta, Microsoft, Robinhood, Carvana, Qualcomm, Ford, ARM, just to name a few. Then on Thursday, we get MasterCard, we get Amazon. We also are going to get Apple reporting earnings. So this week is action-packed with earnings, and we have a lot of economic data as well. Now, when we come over and look at the Qs real quick, Qs today gapping on the way up. Nice big bearish engulfing candle on the way down. And the NASDAQ was quite weak out here today. We come over and look at the 30-minute chart, kind of a B as in boy shape profile. Now, this profile shape isn't necessarily bullish or bearish. Now, unlike the S&P, the MACD indicator is not quite towards the zero line. So could there be a little bit more selling to come? Now, tomorrow, if we do break below value area low and we start coming back up, I want to target the point of control. I want to target value area high. And if we break value area high, look right up here at this next distribution area of the profile. And somewhere around 570 would be a logical target. Anything above that, we're probably going to run and make another new all-time high. However, if we can break below value area low, then let's not forget, keep in mind, we still did not fill the gap from Monday, which we had to come all the way down to 566.33. Then anything below that price point, I want to refer back over to the daily chart and say, all right, the 38% retracements all the way down here. What about some of these other high volume nodes? 562.01, then right here about 556.27. Then we can start looking at the 38% retracement, 50, 61, and such. But we got to take it one day at a time. Now we come over, look at the NASDAQ futures real quick. Notice we have this ABC pattern up above us, 23,694.94. We almost hit it today. However, almost is not good enough. And keep in mind, with any pattern, not every time will a pattern work. Patterns get busted all the time. And we'll see if we can actually make it up there. So tomorrow, if we do continue to grind up higher, this would be a logical runner target. And we have plenty of catalysts tomorrow that could get the market juicing up towards that area. Now, if we look today, last week's value area high was right here about 23,424 or so. Today, we spiked that level. If we get back down below that area again, that's when I want to target the point of control. That's when I want to start to target this minus development area within the profile, then maybe even all the way down towards value area low and lower beyond that. Now we come over and look at the daily profiles on the 30-minute chart. You can see basically the market opens up, we spike up, and then we continue to go down, 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 and down we go. We got a feeble bounce right there, only to come right back down, breaking that low later this afternoon. Now, as we're looking at this, we can see the peak point was hit last night. But if we're going to get a bounce in this market, how high could we potentially bounce? Well, here's a problem that I have with this. If we grab our Fibonacci retracement tool, we measure from high to the initial low. We hit the 38% retracement. We rejected right back down. Now we could pull this a little bit lower, but I don't like that since we've already had that first bounce on the way up. So as I start to look at this, I want to see, can we stay above this recent low that we had in the market earlier this morning? Can we stay above 438 and a quarter? If we can, I want to give the market the benefit of the doubt of coming right back up here towards this structure high. And I would want to zone this out anywhere from the candle body right up here towards the candle wick. If we start breaking above that, then I want to pick off some of these other high volume nodes on the profile. And then really anything up in this consolidation area probably gives way to making another new all-time high. However, if we start breaking below this low earlier on the day, not the actual low of the day, but if we start getting back below 23,438 and a quarter, that's when I want to really look at this 4-hour chart, the weekly volume profiles. I really want to start to focus on that point of control from last week of being tested. Then I want to turn my attentions towards these minus development areas within the profile.